And welcome back to PRI. This is Prep Recruiting Insider here at Moe's Pizza on Avenue H on the West Bank. I'm Rick Gaille, the coach of PRI, here with our Prep Recruiting Insider, Rene, Nadeau. And we're joined today by Matthew Dorsett, the terrific McMain Mustang, Southern Jaguar, and former Green Bay Packers Super Bowl champion. Matthew, welcome to PRI.
Thank you for having me. Nice to see you again, Rene.
Matt, I ain't seen you in a while since lunch yesterday. But anyway, Matt, you know, you were in a golden era, man. You were in a great time at McMain, and Marshall Falk was in high school. Both the Mannings, Peyton and Cooper, Cordell Stewart. Ray Peterson was at O'Para Walker, went on to San Diego State. That was a competitive time in high school football. Sam Hill was the coach. Take us back a little bit to those years at McMain.
Well, keep in mind, McMain only had a football program for 2 years. I only played 2 years of high school football. We got football in 1989. Before that, I was a basketball player. The last time I touched a gridiron was when I was about 11 years old at Jefferson Playground and Conrad. So we started our program in '89, and I can recall we were in the locker room getting ready to go out to practice, and coach was standing on the field waiting on everybody. They didn't know how to put their pads in their tugs. I promise you had guys with the shoulder pads on backwards.
Sure. Oh.
Listen, he came in the locker room and went off. But we learned how to dress ourselves that day.
At least you learned something that year.
We learned to dress ourselves that day.
That's what many people don't realize in high school especially, and the pros sometimes even forget this. Nothing happens by accident.
Nothing.
They come, everything's got to be planned, outlined, assigned, taught, because as soon as you assume something is made, then it's not going to happen.
It's not.
Yeah, no assumptions whatsoever. And it's interesting, in your career, you never had the easy way anywhere. Only 2 years of high school sports. Southern, walked on, I believe.
Walked on at Southern.
A free agent with the
At Green
Packers.
Bay.
All very unusual things, but you made a success out of it. That's something we want our people who are watching this program to realize. There's a lot of ways to get to the top. Talk about that journey, especially from McMain to Southern.
Well, when you look at McMain was an academic school. And the principal that we had, Dr. St. Germain at the time, he was an old football coach. And so he believed in athletics as a partnership with education. And so he wanted football at McMain, so he put up the dollars in order to make it happen. So he created that program. He had the perfect coach at the time in Sam Hill. We had a lot of great assistant coaches who had played sports and had played college football that was able to give us some of the experiences and lessons that they had learned. Going from McMain to college, I wasn't highly recruited. And a lot of people don't know this, but I wasn't supposed to go to Southern. I was actually supposed to go to Grambling. It's a funny story. The guy who was recruiting me from Grambling was on his way to actually sign me to a scholarship. One of the coaches from Southern called this guy on the way there and told him, oh, I already signed him. The guy turned around and never showed up. But he did happen to call my track coach, Coach Winfield at the time, and give him some choice words. And so Coach Winfield, in turn, came marching down the hallway looking for me, yelling my name while I was in class. I'd never seen this before. So he was yelling my name, and you can imagine everybody looking out the door like, what'd he do this time? So I step out in the hallway, and all the thing I could hear was, and you had to beep it out. And so he kind of let me have it, and then when I got an opportunity to talk, we were down in the office because he kind of like had me by my shirt, walking me down to his office, and I got an opportunity to explain, and I told him, I said, look, I never talked to the guy. I have no idea what you're talking about. And so it was one of those situations, and that's why when I talk to parents about recruiting, I always tell them, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call the university and talk to their administration, their people in charge, and find out what's going on, the recruiting process, all of these different steps. So that's the reason why I'm involved into that recruiting process the way I am because of the things that I went through.
A dream come true for a native New Orleanian. You're playing Super Bowl 31.
Yes, sir.
Wearing a Green Bay Packer uniform with Brett and Reggie White as teammates. You guys beat the Patriots 35 to 21. Mike Holmgren was the coach. That had to be a special ride for you.
Well, you think about it. I went from McMain to Southern University. I was a walk-on and became a 4-year starter. I started as a true freshman. I would have been freshman of the year, but we had a guy in the SWAC by the name of Steve McNair. And so I took my chances. So, and I think going from college to the pros, where we had the opportunity to be drafted, I ran a 4.3 flat, 4.3 240. I was considered a big corner. I was 5'11" 3/4, 6 feet, and long arms and quick feet, could do it all. And you know, you understand the business of the NFL. And so there's always their idea of the measurements, those measurables. And so, you know, there were guys coming out of the larger schools because I was coming out of Southern University. But at the time, Southern University was considered DB University. So I got a free agent shot. I had a free agent shot with a lot of teams. A lot of teams were offering me because I should have been drafted. And I chose Green Bay because Green Bay didn't have the big name corners. And so I chose Green Bay because I had a better chance of going there and playing right away. And as a result, I became one of the 2 guys to ever make Green Bay's 53-man roster as a free agent. So we had a great time, great run in Green Bay.
So you've certainly had a unique route to get where you did in the game.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
And that's what we need to be able to convey to everyone watching us, that find a way. If you don't see a way, if nobody offers
Make
you
a
a
way.
way, make a way, make it happen. And you had a very interesting story with your nickname at Green Bay. This is absolutely a case of you not making up your own nickname, as all great nicknames are, but you had gotten the nickname of Baby Time.
Now, see, Wayne started that. Wayne Simmons was our outside linebacker, and Wayne was about 6'3", maybe about 255, 260. He had hands about this long, and he could destroy a tight end. The things that he did to a tight end back then, it's illegal now. Really, seriously. You can't even, I don't think you can do it now. I think it's a penalty. So Wayne gave me this name because I would bump and run all practice, all day, nonstop. I could run all day, I would bump and run all day. So Wayne started calling me Baby Time.
Because
Deion Sanders was prime time. And so Deion Sanders already had established himself. So he started calling me Baby Time. So every time he would walk by me, Baby Time. What we doing today?
Now, how was the bicycle ride with the fans to practice with Green Bay? They adopt a player to ride them on their bicycle to practice. How did you work with it? How did you operate that?
Well, you got to understand, think about this here. When I got into Green Bay, coming from New Orleans, Louisiana, and went all the way up to the top of the country, and you know, the way that they accepted us, and they adopted us into the community, and that tradition, I didn't know about that, and so we were told, like the day before training camp started, that you know, you guys are going to have to, you know, the kids are going to hold your helmet and you're going to ride their bike to practice. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not riding a bike to practice.
That is one of the great traditions of the Green Bay Packers. So many wonderful stories from Matt Dorsett. Hopefully we'll have you back on again, because I think we're just scratching the surface here, Rene. But that's Matt Dorsett, McMain, Southern Green Bay. This is Prep Recruiting Insider, PRI here at Moe's Pizza, Avenue H on the West Bank. We'll be right back after this timeout.